Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Shooting the Shelf here on the Just Shelve It channel on YouTube. I'm Jesse Arnold. Ooh, and I'm burping. This is my co-host, the amazing Curtis Ackerman. How are
Hi,
you doing
everybody.
tonight, Curtis?
I'm Curtis. I'm not burping.
Well, it is a lovely Sunday in July, episode 29 of Season 2.
Yeah, Stephen too.
All right. I might
Jesse was drinking a bit before the show. It's okay.
just Baja Blast. All right. It is season 2, episode 29 of Shooting the Shelf. A little over halfway through the year. Lots of good stuff has already happened. We got lots more good stuff coming up.
Yep.
And tonight we've got a very special guest, fresh from his shift at work. Retrospect Customs, Leiland.
What's up, Leiland?
Oh, hey, man. How you guys doing?
Doing excellent.
How's everybody?
Doing good. How you doing?
Got your
I'm good. So I'm drinking coffee just to stay up. But I'll fall asleep later.
Got your table mate from Legion's Con last year. Brian's here saying
Yeah.
hey. J-Mac saying what's up. NYC Figure Fanatic.
That's my boy Kevin and Carver.
JG. And Kevin Dufresne. What's up, Kevin? Kevin's had some storms, so problems out in his area without power and stuff. So thanks for taking the time to be here tonight, Kevin.
And looks like Joe just jumped on.
Joe, what's up, Joe?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, Leland, here at the top of the show, we do our shelf selections where we go through a bunch of pictures that Curtis and I both just jumped out at us this week. So let's get that.
Okay.
All right.
Stuff running.
I'll start us off. I kind of went down a rabbit hole this week. I was looking for some art to show, and I found a lot of sculptors that are doing things that files for 3D printing and that kind of thing. So the first three that I've got tonight are all people that have sculpted these.
Okay.
So this one is Daniel MO 3D and sculpted this amazing storm. I just thought this was really cool.
That is gorgeous. Those shoulder pads are something else, but that is a gorgeous sculpt and paint job. Is that actually printed or is that just a 3D render?
I believe that this is printed and painted.
Okay.
So I kind of found some folks that collect and print and paint these. And as I was going through their list of different ones that they had, I was finding these different artists that did some really cool ones. So this was just one of them. But yeah, awesome. I thought this looked really cool.
Yeah, that's great.
And then this is Jesse's first.
This is Jesse Fairreisen. I'm not sure how to say that. I apologize for butchering that name. I think these are the what are they? Is it 3-0?
Oh, okay.
I think. I cropped off the comment, but I just thought it was a great shot of a more detailed, realistic looking Prime and Bumblebee, but still looking like G1 designs and stuff. So
that's the 1/6 line, right? The 301 1/6.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the official masterpiece line, I don't think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, these look really cool. Do these? I don't know if you know much about these figures, but do you know if they actually transform or are they just in the robot form like this?
I don't know. I don't know. I just thought it was a really cool looking shot, and that's what grabbed my attention. Like they did the light. I don't know if there's actual light effects in the figures or if they added that in post, but I just real simple background with the clouds and everything, and so that was really cool.
Yeah, I love that Prime. I don't really collect Transformers, but Man, that's tempting. That's pretty cool looking. And I do like the shot just with the natural lighting, cloudy background, and their eyes lit up like you said. Looks really cool.
Yeah.
So
Got some more folks joining in.
And my next one.
Uh-oh.
This is, this guy actually had all 4 turtles and a shredder that he sculpted, but I thought this one was just kind of the neatest. This Leo, this is from Luis Alipio 3D, and yeah, just kind of got that street sign behind him, and I don't know, just looking badass with the 2 swords, and but like I said, he does have the other 3 turtles as well that he sculpted and the shredder. But I just really like this one. That like this kind of, when I saw this one, it took me back to kind of being a kid. I know, like I would go to, like they'd have like little county fairs and stuff like that, and you'd have like the little like glass things that you could get with like turtles and stuff like that on it, and different art, and that this kind of reminded me of that. Like I always thought even though Donatello is my favorite turtle, I always thought the art with Leo was really cool. So
Okay.
Nice.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't love a cool, well-designed turtle skull? And I love this. It looks like somewhere between the movie, the animated series, and the original comics, like kind of all in one look there.
yeah, and I like the bulkiness of it too. Like he's I saw the Mezco turtles that were out this week that people were buying, and I don't know, that's not my aesthetic. This looks badass. It's kind of a turtle with He-Man powers. Like give me that bulked up muscular turtle. So he hasn't missed any days at the gym.
No.
Then this one's Jesse's.
Yes, this excuse me. This is Paulo Picasso. I think you had them last week or 2 weeks ago, Curtis. So because of that, I started following it, and I just saw this. Was that Shipwreck and Cover Girl? Kind of recreating that classic World War II photo. With, I'm assuming that's an aircraft carrier off to the background there. But yeah, just sunset or sunrise. I think it's a sunset shot. Just really grabbed my attention, and I believe he was set up at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend. So
I think that's the statue you see in San Diego too. There's a statue for that shot too.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the one. So I think.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, obviously the pose and everything is perfect, and then just how he caught that with the sunset, like just right in the right spot and coming off the corner of that ship, and yeah, that's just really neat. It's great photo. We had a few other people jump in too. I don't know.
Oh yeah. See, Douglas jumps in saying the Bumblebee is 112. They don't transform.
Okay.
Matt Stein's here. What's up, Matt? And David Williams. How's it going? Oh, and Greg.
Formerly Brute Scale.
And I don't know if I posted this from Rich earlier, but
so
you talking about, Rich?
Up here.
This is the last of the sculptors that I did. Just another really cool one. This is obviously the death of Superman, where Lois is kind of holding him up, and you got the torn cape and everything, and so not only great sculpt, but then the way that they did the photo with the kind of destroyed metropolis in the background and stuff. I just thought that looked really neat.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And this is I don't know if it's one word, John Axa or Jonas XA. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but really cool stuff.
Awesome. Nice. I dig it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I like the background is great.
Yeah, and then this is Jesse's.
Everybody's going cosmic crazy right now. And when I saw this one slide through the feed, it really grabbed my attention. The Ziri. I don't know if she's capturing Kragnar or if they're working together and she's like riding on his back like into action, but I don't know what's going on, but it's I just thought that was really cool. Again, you got him being the bigger figure down low and she's up above him. I don't know, I thought it was really cool, and I like that chunky chain. It looks different than something you would see in Mythics.
It's a Cosmic Legion Master Blaster. So. Yeah, this is cool. That the back of Kragnar with the in the arms and stuff, like with the all the different hooks and everything, like it's just like begging for chains. So yeah, this is really cool to see, and I like the pose and everything as well. So good stuff.
Right. Did you get any Cosmic yet, Leland?
Leland, you there?
Nope.
I lost him. Here's my last one while we wait for Leland. This is just a photo with it's got the Mafex Batman and Mafex Nightwing, kind of doing that, jumping down from the buildings shot with the little bat logo in the background. So I just thought this was a good photo, cool perspective. And for anybody out there that saw the new Nightwing Mezco release this week, just keep in mind the Mafex is way better. So, so there you go. And then
you
go ahead.
I think you were froze up for a second there, Leland. Did you get any Cosmics in yet?
Who, me?
Yes.
No. I just missed out on it. I wasn't sold on it until I saw the actual figures. I was like, man, should have ordered.
Well, the good news is you're close enough to hit some shows and get those table prices.
That's actually my plan.
Awesome.
It's easier that way too.
And this is the last one from Jesse.
Yeah. From this was a video, so I tried to get it in a decent angle. Anything is posable. It's
Noah Pratt.
Noah, right? Yeah.
Noah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just painting dwarf beards drives me insane with all these little decorations they put in them. So when I saw this, like I started to have heart palpitations just because I was just imagining painting all of those little things. Yeah, so I just thought that was really cool, and he got the freckles and the the skin blemishes on there and everything, and the fade of the
hair too,
the hair on the back. Yeah, it's just really grabbed my attention. So
yeah, I like the 5 o'clock shadow kind of on the shaved part on the back, and the eyes came out real well. This is just did a good job overall.
I feel like I get the impression kind of like a Sala type character from Indiana Jones, or this guy where he's like a merchant, or he's running some sort of maybe less than above board facility of some sort, and you're not really sure if he's gonna turn you in or help you out. And it's just so much personality in that.
Yeah. And that's it for shelf selections. So
all right.
Let me remove that.
All right. Well, let's just jump right into this, Leland. You're obviously a very talented customizer. For anyone watching the show that is not aware of Leland's work, I'm going to throw up our banner down at the bottom, but check out his Instagram at Retrospect_Customs on Instagram. You can see a lot of his stuff. Before we pull up your page and start looking at some stuff, have you been into Legions from the start? How did you get into them?
I didn't
or
really
customizing in general.
I got into customizing during the first Legion's going, like the first one. So I remember it was a small room too. That's where I met Detour, Luis, Dennis Derby, Nikki Nicole, my boy Nostalgic on the chat. It was me and him because we were all selling toys at ToyCon, and I was like, bro, like let's check these legions out because I see them all over the place. Let's check it out before we leave. And we did. I was like, wow, man, like these customs are crazy. So after that, I was like, you know what? Let me get my hands into customizing because I have an art background. So
Okay.
but I don't really do anything with that. So I was like, you know what? Let me just put that to work. And when I did, I started loving it, and I just kept going with it.
Okay.
So ever since the first Legion's gone, that was it. I got really hooked. So
And was it at ToyCon, the ToyCon,
New Jersey, ToyCon, New Jersey,
like in the same year as Legion's
same
Con?
year? Because I know they had ToyCon and Legion's Con after that.
Okay.
So that was kind of So I was like, you know, let's stay real quick. Let's watch what's going on. And when I saw Nikki's work, I saw Dennis Derby, I saw everybody's work. I was like, wow, man, like, and I have I'm really competitive. That's just me. I have a competitive mindset. So I was like, you know what? If they could do it, I could do it too. And
awesome.
I love challenging myself. So figured I could do the same thing they can too. But my work's not the same as theirs though. Like they're like OG level. I'm just like I'm down there. Like I look up to those guys. So and I saw Jeremy's customs too. That he was like the first guy that I seen doing crazy stuff with parts. I was like, wow, man, like how the hell did he do this?
Yeah, Jeremy's the king of fodder.
Yeah, I was like, that's crazy.
So before you got into Legions, were you doing any sort of customizing or any other?
I was doing
else with toys, painting.
I was doing a little bit of customizing. I customized a freaking Mighty Duck action figure using Marvel Legends bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I did Earthworm Jim, and I was like, you know what, it's okay, like, because I love the 90s,
Mm-hmm.
So after that, when I got into Legions, all that like went to the side, and I was just Legions after that, like hardcore Mythic Legions after that. Like I just dumped all my collections out.
Yeah.
So that was it. Like I just got hooked.
Awesome.
Dove in and never looked back.
Nope.
So do you collect, other than collecting, do you have a decent collection of mythics, or do you do it all pretty much for customizing?
I have all customized. I have a bunch of builders actually, but I do collect actual Mythic Legions figures, like the name figures, but I keep them sealed. So
okay.
Yeah, I like them sealed. If if I have to collect them, I'll keep them sealed. Then I'll just open up my builders because they're easier to open without feeling guilty. But when I first started collecting, I had like 9 Balams. I had a whole bunch of like,
wow.
Yeah, I had some crazy figures, and I just opened them up, butchered them, and thought about it. I was like, man, like knowing how much they cost now, I should have never done that.
There's a lot of other toy communities where I see, kind of almost like an even split between inbox and out of the box collectors, but it seems like Mythic Legion is mostly out of the box collecting. What is it that makes you, want to keep them in the box and have them that way?
I usually buy 2 or 3 of each. So
yeah,
that way I won't feel guilty opening 1 or 2. That way I still have an extra one. So
gotcha.
That's probably the collector in me, because I do collect other stuff too. So, and I've always been like that. I've always bought 2 or 3 figures, sometimes even 4 or 5. But now that I think about it, I'm more comfortable getting just builders and just collecting single figures, name figures. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
What else are you collecting?
I collect a lot of vintage, but I love the 90s so much. So I'm stuck in the 90s. I love King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. I collect them mint in sealed in packages.
Okay.
I have
that's the one Dooge was telling us about on OffWorld.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and then I have a lot of Earthworm gems, and they're sealed too. So
Okay.
I have the '90s Space Jam sealed. I have graded figures too. So
Oh
Oh
wow.
wow.
yeah,
Okay.
I even have a graded Valius. I don't know why I did it, but I just did
Yeah.
it. Yeah. I guess it's because it's just bragging rights. I was like, yeah, I'll be like, hey man, my Valius is graded. Like, like I'm probably the only one that has a graded Valius right now. So
Now, did you get it and like look at the box and go, man, this is in great shape. I want to get this
oh yeah,
graded or
yep.
gotcha.
Yep. So
Cool.
yeah, I collect a
Very
lot of
cool.
stuff, but now I like modern stuff too. I
Yeah.
like the modern. I do collect Mayfex. I do collect 112 Mezco 112s too. I had I had a huge collection. I just when I first started, I had a huge collection of Mezcos. Got into Legion, sold all of them. I had seller's regret. I was like, man, I need to get these things back. So I got them back again, and I had like three Batman Beyond. Those were that one was my favorite Mezco, the
Okay.
Batman Beyond. So
I was gonna say, did you have a favorite of them, and you just answered that.
yeah, the
So
Batman Beyond. But now I think
okay,
Constantine, man, the Constantine is looking good.
that's a nice looking figure.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
New York
that's my
figure
yeah,
fanatic. You collect everything. Just say
yeah,
it.
I do. But I can't help it, man. I really can't help it.
Yeah.
So
Well, I know we don't have you for too long tonight, Jesse. Do you want to pull up his work and let's take a look at some of that?
Yeah, let's get that over here. I'll get you bounced in up at the top. All right, I'm going straight to the horse because I just recently did a couple horses, and I think horses are a pain in the butt to do. So
honestly, they are, man. Like they
this
are.
is gorgeous.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's really cool.
It took me a while to figure out how to really paint them because I don't know, the paint wouldn't stick to them. I don't know why. I primed them. I did everything and it wouldn't stick to them.
Hmm.
Okay. How did you get into the joints? Did you like sand those down
No,
or just
I spray painted it.
Hmm.
Spray
okay?
painted it white. I use Citadel spray paint, so hopefully
Okay.
they'll stay. But I try not to move the joints too much because the paint will probably gonna peel off.
Gotcha. I love the pattern and the coloring. Like it's just such a unique looking horse.
I actually had to do a lot of research on how to paint that horse, like what kind of color they come in. Like I didn't want to make him look like a cow, like
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why I went minimal with the black pattern on the horse, and that was it.
Do you have I think you called it solstice, right?
Yeah.
Is that for a specific rider or is it just
You mean the name Solstice?
no, this character like the
Oh
I
no,
mean
no,
since you
no,
is it
nope.
like did you make it for anyone specifically?
Made it for my custom figure.
Okay.
I have my custom head on Templar Knight.
Oh,
And
cool.
so
Okay.
it's writing that right now. So,
Excellent. And who doesn't love an undead
that's
skeletal
nice.
cat?
yeah, that's one of my Balams. I had like 11 of them. So
Is that the PDT cat head?
yeah. I had that for a long time. I didn't know what to do with it, and I was like, you know what? Let me just make a Balam, undead Balam. So
That's
I did.
great.
Most of my work is inspired by World of Warcraft. I played World of
Hell
Warcraft,
yeah.
for a long time. So
I was gonna say that this next one definitely
yeah,
That's cool.
strikes that chord.
yeah. That head's gonna be at Legion's Con. We're gonna have that head,
Awesome.
so we'll be carrying those.
I love the pot belly.
The
Is that
pot
a
belly
plate or is
from
that a whole torso?
That's plate. That's from Anthony Osil too. He sells
That's
those.
Wolf King.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Say I
that's
got a
No,
couple
no.
from him, and
Toy Forge.
Toy Forge or
what did
yeah,
I say?
Wolf
Wolf
King.
King.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my Wolf King shirt today, and it's just
Yeah, and the spear as well too. That's gonna be at Legion's Con.
okay.
Who makes those?
That's our own design. That's custom.
So are you printing them or is somebody else printing them?
My boy Lenny's doing the printing,
Oh, okay, cool.
so you can hit him up if you want to hook you up. I guess.
Nice.
And this is great.
That's from Wolfgang the head, and I guess the shoulder that's from MA my action figure custom.
Okay.
I've had that head for a long time too. I just didn't know what to do with it.
I like the tattered
that.
look on the loin piece, like how you cut it up and made some, like took some nicks and stuff out of it.
Yeah.
And I like the smoke effect here. Was that
It's from Cannonball.
I was gonna say, is that Cannonballs?
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
I actually attached a lamp next to it. I just
really?
I keep adding stuff. You won't see it there because I didn't have it then.
Okay.
But
okay.
He's gonna be at Legion's Con. I'll bring him.
Awesome. One of the things I really like about your work is, and I noticed this especially at Legion's Con because I was right next to you, is like how many like. I think the one that was definitely the most standout to me was the I don't remember what it was called, but it was like the evil spirit, or it looked like an evil spirit. It had
that's
the flying.
That's
the
from
hair and.
See, I'm Filipino, and like those are one of our, I guess, cryptids. And I'm actually working on something that I'm not finished yet. But if you want, I can show it to you guys what I have for now. So that way you guys
was it
can
this one?
Yeah, but that one I'm making a version 3, and which is has custom head, custom torso.
Oh wow.
So yeah, hold on, let me go get it. It's over here anyways.
Okay. I just the while he's looking, just the variety of influences and looks that he's got on all of his stuff is just.
I like that orc right there. Actually, both of those next to each other. Yeah, that one and the other one. I like on this one how he used those pauldrons, but then he took, I think, some like waist pieces to use, like to make the shoulders longer, and then just the color on there, that like metallic red, but where it also looks like it's worn, like the armor. The paint job that he did on it makes it look like the armor's been worn over time.
It's like this guy takes care of his armor, but he is.
It is
very used. Yeah.
I was just actually experimenting with it, and I liked the look of it, and I was like, man, I'll stick with this. So
yeah, I love that. And then the other one, if you go back, that's right next to it. Yeah, that one too. That's badass as well.
Curtis liking red orcs. I am surprised.
Any orcs really, but
I know.
When he said, inspired by World of Warcraft, I'm like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yep.
So
it. This is the one right here.
Let's
I have to paint the.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So that's custom torso, custom head. The wings, I think, is from Jason Demon. I think he designed it.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. I forgot who I got it from.
Man, that's intense. That's great.
Yeah. I have more. I just been busy with work, but I've been working on my stuff. So
you don't want to get cornered by her late at night. That's for sure.
Yeah, I actually when I was little, I used to get my grandma used to tell us stories about this thing, and used to scare the shit out of us. So
what? Well, let's. What's the story? I mean, do you mind sharing the story? Like, what was the nutshell story of that?
So these things are called. It's a long name. It's manananggal. So in English, it's called the separate. I think the removers, because when they separate their body, I guess that's how they separate their bodies. So that's why they call them removers. And they love
Okay.
eating. Their main prey are pregnant women, babies,
Ooh.
and that's it. Yeah, and they have a long tongue too. So
Okay.
that's how they're able to. I guess that's how they're able to hunt too.
And you say your grandma told you this story?
Yeah.
Did she not like you, or?
I have no idea.
Was this like a boogeyman story, like, oh, behave,
Yeah,
or they're gonna
it's
come
something
get you
like
kind of
that.
thing?
Back
Okay.
in the day,
Gotcha.
they don't want you to stay out late at night.
Oh,
So
okay.
they
Yeah.
tell you like crazy stuff.
Okay.
That way you get scared and
I
stay
can
home.
imagine we're probably fairly close in age, so like, parents could tell kids all sorts of horrible things back then and not get
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
blasted all over the
Yep.
social media.
Yep.
This pig.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, like just the spots, like how, like the way you did the like kind of the gradation around the spots and
Yeah.
stuff, just really great.
That head's from the head and shoulders from PDT as well.
That's fantastic. So while we're looking through, is there anything in here that you're particularly proud of, or you'd want to
See that the
take
twin
another run
ogres
at?
are probably my favorite. The twins, yeah,
These two?
yeah. I love ogres, so
Okay.
and orcs, so those are my favorite. But
Oh man,
Where's that, the sculpt on the left? Where's that from?
that's from a Star Wars. Some guy hooked me up with 3D printed Star Wars heads, and I was like, man, I could use this. I'll probably use this.
That's really cool. I like it.
Yeah, and that thing's magnetic too. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, I do a lot with magnets, so it's easier.
that's great.
And I think that that club that the gray one has, that's from Detour, I think.
Yeah, that looks like the Detour.
Yeah. And also the weapon of the brown one, that's from Detour as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
The face on that darker one, the blue one, reminds me of I think his name's Hoggle from Labyrinth.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's just really cool. I like that a lot.
Oh, that's great. So much personality and character on those.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. I like the female Minotaur.
Yeah, I miss her. Ryan Zarek has her. So
Oh yeah. Okay.
she was my first female Minotaur. So
Okay. Oh, very cool. Oh man,
thank you.
this guy.
That's one of my favorite as well. Yeah, I'm a big orc fan, so I incorporate a lot of orcs in my custom. So
That's what I'm
I
talking
love
about.
the shoulder, like the collar piece. Is that from a Lord of the Rings figure?
Yes, it is, and also the waist piece too is from Lord of the Rings,
from the Easterlings.
Yeah.
Oh man, I had all those figures. I had all but like the two they didn't release in North America back in the day, and I'm kicking myself for ever getting rid of them.
That skeleton is got really cool color on it too. That red, I love that.
The dual size is great.
Yeah, I love those weapons. I think that's from the weapons from Dusk Till Dawn. I think I got it from them.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the heads from Wolf King. I don't know where those pauldrons are from.
I don't remember. I think
pauldrons and weapons sculpted by Jason Demon.
Oh, okay.
Printed by Dusk Till Dawn, head by Wolf King. There you go.
I try to give as much cut as possible, but sometimes like I just miss it because like I do a lot of trades too. So
yep.
At this point, I'm just like, man, I want to do it right way, but
and that's part of that. Like you were talking about, like the OGs. They're like, you were in this towards the beginning, and that's one of the things that I appreciated when I first got in. Like when you talk about your Dennis Derbies and Nikki and Jeremy and stuff, they always give credit when they're posting
Yeah.
stuff to, you know, where the parts came from. And that just really helps support all the other artists that are working on this stuff. So that's great.
Oh man, gotta love seeing a oh, I just went blank. Don't say it. Kobold.
Yeah. The heads from Toy Forge.
I like using the what's that coat from?
I don't know, but it's
that's
awesome.
Gambit, Marvel Legends Toy Biz Gambit.
Wow.
Oh, okay,
And the torsos from Noble Bear. So
okay.
Boy Anthony.
I don't know how I feel about you taking apart a Gambit though, but that's all right.
I'm happy. I'm happy with it. And you're talking about Earthworm Jim, and that's the first thing that comes to mind when I see this.
Yeah, that's Psychro.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And I can't remember. I think I rented Earthworm Jim at one point, and I really liked it, but I never got to own it. But I was obsessed with the artwork. So I remember one summer I just spent like weeks redrawing like the poster style cover in my sketchbook.
I love Earthworm Jim. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with him.
I saw
jackets, shirts.
Nice. Man, this orc is great. The way you have the horns pulled in there on the helmet makes it almost feel like insect-like, and it's kind of freaking me out, but that's awesome.
That's from PDT as well, I think, to the head. I love the head too. I don't know if he carries it anymore. I don't know if Seba does it.
I got one like this, but it has like the open mouth and like the damage on the one side. Yeah. I got it at the first con the Legion's con I went to in 21, and it's in my bin of stuff to paint. I just keep doing other stuff first.
Wolfgang, right there. The Wolfgang, the turtle head.
Yeah, that's
eyes on that are so good.
And the hammers from Toy Forge, I think.
Yeah, these are all. Oh, got some more arcs here for you, Curtis.
That snake one there is awesome.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
I had a hard time painting him. I don't know why.
Is that a King Hiss head?
I don't think so. I think it's by Action Figure Fusion.
Oh, okay.
Headhunter.
Yeah.
Gotcha. It kind of looked like the one from Motu Classics King Hiss. So I thought maybe that you did some sort of, you know, fodder exchange.
Yeah.
But that is cool. I like that.
That's great. I mean, there's details over every millimeter of this thing. I can't imagine why you had a hard time painting this.
Yeah, I mean, I've developed a way for me to paint it a lot easier, but it's not a custom if it's easy, you know. Like I feel like,
right,
you know.
Oh, she's great.
All right, what's this thing down below on the left or on the right? Yeah, all the way to the right. Sorry, yeah.
That's
what is that thing?
My pirate.
Cool. That thing is badass.
I think I gave that to Sean Struck.
That's really cool.
I love
everything about that.
Yeah,
Spawn, medieval Spawn, pauldrons and waist on that.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. It reminds me of the bad guy from Pirates of Darkwater.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't think he like. I don't know if it's like. I'm not saying it's a 1-to-1 comparison, but it has that.
I love that head so much, though. Love that head.
I'm gonna go back to this. I love seeing people's desks, and
my desk is a mess right now. You can see.
There's all the paint pots and just all the stuff all over it. It's just very cool. So orcs are one of your favorites.
Orcs, yep.
And what was the other one? Orcs and ogres.
Orcs, ogres, and knights.
Oh man, look at this guy.
Yeah. As you can See, I love the elephant pauldron, so love that from MAF from my action figure custom. So
Okay, that's a great looking pauldron.
yeah,
It's such a
but they're hard to those tusks. They're hard to put on though. They don't fit. I mean, they fit right, but they'll eventually fall. So I got them on a stand right now. That way they don't fall off. So
okay. Very cool. Yeah, those things make such a statement. So many awesome things
yeah, I'm,
here.
I'm all about variety. So I don't really just stick to a certain like race, but
yeah,
yeah. So
that is fantastic.
yeah, and I think that
I
acts
love the
from Detour too.
Mhm.
okay. Yeah, every time I see a big weapon, my first thought is Detour.
You know, I
I just
really
look
try
at
to
the
try to support everybody. You know, like I'm not.
yeah.
You know,
I mean, it definitely shows. Like you can. Oh, there's another one.
yeah, that's my first one actually.
Oh,
You got a ogre there with two of those elephant pauldrons. I don't know how he gets anywhere.
That was a hard one to make. That thing took me months to paint because I was so scared painting him. I think he's probably one of my first customs. So
You can't
oh
even take
wow.
that to Legion's Con. You won't make it through the double doors.
Yeah, this is great. I love the way you do the war paint, like the face paint and stuff on different characters, because it doesn't look perfect,
yeah,
nor should it, because it's
yeah, exactly.
they're smeared it on like the same thing with that
Oh, there you are. There's Templar U.
Yeah, that's me right
oh there it
there.
is. So that horse is for you here.
Yeah, it's that one.
Okay.
I have another one too.
Are you gonna upgrade yourself with some of the new
Um,
ones from
I'm
the
actually
Necronominus wave?
doing this custom right here. Hold on. I'm doing this right now. So
Ooh.
the
Nice.
attachments from Dust Till Dawn, and then I think it's by Jason Demon custom too. He
Okay.
designed it. So I'm working on this one now. So
Cool.
I'm going big for Legion's going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have. I'm gonna pull up one more orc here for Curtis
Thank you. Appreciate it.
because I love this. This head just looks like straight out of Warcraft. Is that's I
Oh
think
yeah.
that's is that Headhunters?
That's from Paul Customs. There
Paul's
you go.
Custom. Yeah.
Yeah, he was at Legion's Con last year too. That's my boy, man.
Yeah.
He's that
I
dude.
want to get a couple of those for
Yeah.
if he can do them when the ogre scale comes or the brute scale comes out. The
Yeah, that
Tharnog.
dude is such a nice guy. Like that guy is so down to
Yeah.
earth.
Yeah, I got
And
to
I do a
talk to
lot
him
of
for a few
I do a
minutes.
lot of flea market stuff too, so that's why you see it there too.
Okay.
Pick up, so
And some
Now
of
that
your,
orc right there with the soft goods, that's what I'm talking about.
yeah, that one
Whoa.
I gave that to Nolan from Nolan Collects.
Okay.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Yeah.
I like giveaways, man. I give all my customs. You know, if they want it, I'll give it to you for free. That's I can always make them. You know, like that's just how I am.
Ooh. Sorry,
You heard it here, folks. Free customs at Legion's Con.
Yeah, man. Let me know. I'm not greedy, man. I make those things all day.
Ooh. The mohawk on the skull. I love it.
Yeah, that's actually from Turgon. The Mohawk.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you cut it off of him
I
and
had to
then
rip it off.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys. My eyes just started like watering like mad. This reminds me of oh, I can't remember the character's name from Last of the Mohicans. Like if he was skeletonized.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Um The one that was said he was a Mohawk, but he wasn't. And like was the just that sorry, every time I think about the movie, I think about that scene where like the British soldiers are marching and he just walks back and you just see him just like slide his tomahawk. He just like drops it, you know, from like he's holding it up by the blade and it just drops almost like a lightsaber. And then he just walks up to the one guy that like smiles at him and just such a good movie. Okay. I'm gonna pop this out, make us all big again. You said you're going big for Legion's Con. Is there you don't have to like spoil anything or make any announcements or anything, but like what can you share any of your plans for what your table is going to be like at Legion's Con?
Yeah, we're gonna have a big setup. So I'm working with Kingpin, working with what do you call that? With Nimai Customs for his dios, and hopefully Carver comes through, man. My boy Brian. But no pressure though, no pressure. You know.
So are you going to be mixing like your customs and dios, you know, like all your stuff together with everybody?
Yeah, cool. Figured, you know, that's just, you know, like you know, I like to share, so you know, the more the better, the merrier. So.
And I noticed looking through your customs here, like it's not just like, oh, here's a knight. Like you've got stories and you get into the writing and the details on all that. Like where does that come from? Is that something you've always done?
I've done that since I was a little kid. Yeah, I used to make my own book report. So
okay.
I used to write it, yeah, and then I took creative writing classes too. So, you know,
okay.
I have a big, you know, fantasy mind, man. Like I can make up stories right on the fly too. Like I'll just make it up, you know. So I guess
awesome.
That's just how I am. I mean, I love fantasy, so you know, that's how I'm able to make up stories just like that. I make those stories up in like 5 minutes. Even if I'm doing customs, I have it all in my head already. Like so, you know,
cool.
Yeah.
So that's one thing getting into customs that I've really enjoyed is like feeling the story and the character like build as you're painting it and putting the pieces together and stuff.
Yeah, because I feel like it's boring if you don't have a story behind it. Like you're just looking at it and then all right, so what's this guy's story? You know, like I want to put something behind. I want to put a nice story behind it. But sometimes I hate writing though, man. Like if I have a huge profile on this guy, I'm just like, man, I'm tired already. Like I'm burnt out, you know, like I can't do it anymore. So sometimes if you see it on my Instagram, I'll just make up like a paragraph or like a few sentences and that's it. Like, cause I'm tired already. Like, you know,
fair enough.
Now, do you just like basically create stuff that you want to create, and then if people buy it, they buy it, or do you do commission work, or how does that work?
I'll take commission, but I just make whatever I feel like making. You know, it's like I have no preference at all. Like I just make it. But if you know, I tell them all the time, if I did take commission, I had to have full control because it's my customs to begin with.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I hate people telling me to do stuff. You know.
Gotcha.
Because I guess that's just the artist in me. Because like I used to do graffiti. I used to do a lot of stuff back in the day.
Oh, wow.
So like so you know, like I want to showcase my art, not other people's, you know, input. And I hate people telling me to do stuff. So
gotcha.
So would you take like I want a knight that's part of the Convocation of Basilia, or you know, part of this Warcraft faction or something like that? Is that enough, or do you just like?
Oh, that's all I need.
I mean, is that what they get when you do a commission? Is that what it is, or do you just be like, hey, I'm going to make you an? Okay.
I mean, like my boy Eric Mo, he told me like, bro, I got these parts. Can you paint them for me? I was like, bro, can I have like creative control? He's like, do what you gotta do, and boom,
awesome,
got it right away. Like, cause you know why? Because I have so much ideas running through my head, and I hate it when someone else's ideas gets into my head too. Like
Gotcha.
I don't want that. Like I want my own version of it. So
nice.
Very
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can totally appreciate that.
Yeah, because I guess I'm just really like I'm a hardcore artist, man. I've been doing art since I was a little kid. That took.
Oh, let's see, froze up there for a second.
Yep. I really like those orcs. Those are cool.
Yeah.
My bad. I think
that's you're right.
Yeah, but now I work in a hospital, so it's like, man, I need an outlet,
Yeah.
So,
yeah, everybody has to have that,
Yeah.
You got to keep it fun, and I hear what you're saying about like with the custom stuff. That's what I've had people reach out to me, and I don't do them because like it's hard for me because like I feel stressed if there's certain expectations. I just want to do what I do.
Yeah.
And then if somebody wants to buy it, that's one thing. But I just, like you said, I got to have creative, control over it. So, so I understand that completely.
Yeah. Cause I feel like art should be like your own, that's your own like thing, like I can't have people telling me like you need to paint it this color. I'm like, bro, like leave me alone, man. Like let me do my thing first, and then if you like it, then that's good. If you don't, then I don't care. Like, someone else will like it.
I like that. I like that take on it.
Yeah, because like I feel like it needs to be appreciated. Like
Yeah,
that's just how I am. So.
Well, I know you've talked about your Legions Con plans. Do you have any other shows between now and then that you're going to be doing, or is that like the big one for the year?
That's the big one for the year. But I do, I sell toys too. I sell a lot of I've been selling a whole bunch of my collections because like I don't know, I just need to get rid of them. I have so much, so I'm doing a lot of conventions too. So I'm doing this show in Merchantville. In New Jersey. It's an outside show. It's an outdoor show. I mean, and that place is, from what I heard, it'll be my first time doing it. I heard that place is like legit. Like it's really like.
And when's that?
Sometime in September, I think. I'm not sure. And then there's one in October, which is Super Jersey Comic Expo in Holmdel, New Jersey. And they actually have a website for that. And then Legion's going after that. And then ToyCon in December.
Okay. Gotcha. So at the other shows, are you doing your customs too, or are you just selling the
I usually just bring my customs just to show off what Mythic Legion's about.
Nice.
And yeah, and then that would say like I do get a lot of people asking me, well, what are they? I was like, yeah, man, they're Mythic Legions. Cool. Yeah. So like, I spread the love, like yeah, so very like cool. Yeah, I mean I guess I guess that's just how I am. I like to show love to everybody. Like I'm not all about hating people, like that's too much drama, man. I stay away from that.
I feel like the more good you put out, the more good you'll get.
Yeah, I believe in karma, like karma will get you. So I mean, whatever. I'm going broke buying all these figures, and hopefully that karma will return back to me.
Oh, that's when you get Klarna.
Oh, that's true. I do have it. Yeah, but I regret not ordering these Cosmic Legions, man. Like now that I'm looking at it, I was like, wow, man, these figures are cool as shit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Curtis has jumped headfirst into the Kool-Aid bowl for that one.
Yeah, especially the builders.
My favorite figure out of that line is this dude right here, because I like big stuff. So.
Oh, you did get a slog?
Yeah, he's a good one.
Yeah,
nice.
I can't wait for parts though.
Yeah. Curtis, I'm interested to see. He's got like the little canisters on his chest that come out. I'm interested to see what people come up with for that. Like, what kind of things they come up to put in there.
I got one in mind already that I might commission a scope. So
Nice.
yeah,
Very
so
Cool.
I'll be getting my first two Thursday morning.
oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
So you didn't pre-order them, just or no?
No, I was barely into Mythic Legions when Wave 1 of Cosmic was announced for pre-order.
I know Curtis.
And
I did. I went heavy. So not as heavy. Looking back on it, I should have gone heavier on the builders, but yeah.
I'm going to be mainly sticking to named characters on this and just putting because my whole setup is I'm going to have some of them have crashed onto Mythos
Okay.
somehow and are adapting to life in that environment.
That's
Except for the Sphexians. I love the Sphexians. Those things are gorgeous and I cannot wait to get those.
I like those bug guys too, man. Like,
yeah,
you could do so
yeah.
much.
I usually hate bugs, but those things are gorgeous.
Yeah, you could do so much customs to those the parts from those bugs, though. Just the wings alone, I could think of so many ways to customize them.
I'll be honest, they're not my favorite.
Yeah,
they're not my favorite. I mean, they're cool looking, but I'm not a bug guy. And then B, they take up a lot of room with their wings and stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to keep mine, if I'm being honest.
Let me know.
Yeah.
as the chat lights up with people sending me messages.
Just let me know.
Yeah. Like those, I kind of expected that they weren't going to be my favorites. The one that there was a couple that surprised me. Vorga surprised me. I didn't expect that I was going to like her too much, and she's fucking awesome. Like she's amazing. And then I thought Kragnar was going to be my favorite, and he's really not. Like he's cool looking, but it's almost like he's a statue because he's so top heavy that you've got to get him in a pose that works and just like leave him alone and hope he doesn't fall. So yeah, but the builders, man, like that, the sentry, the science officer, even the engineer is really cool. Like it initially when you look at that engineer and it's just all black, you can't see all the details and everything. But I've seen a few people I know. Eric LeBron just painted one up. Jeremy Gerard painted one up. And you start painting some of the details on that engineer. And like all those builders, man, they really pop once you get some paint on them.
Yeah.
So
they look really, really good. They look good.
Yeah, Vorga. I'll be getting Vorga and the Sphexian Block Commander Thursday morning from a local approved retailer.
I know.
So he's like, when do you want to get these? I was like, when can I come? He's like, well, you can come by Thursday anytime. You know, I was like, can I go to work at 10 and work till 8? He's like, yeah, come in before work. I'm like, yes.
Yeah. If I do get rid of my Sphexians, what I'll probably, because I think I got another one coming, what I'll probably do is try to work out a trade for sentries. So
that's actually a good idea.
Yeah. Just like, especially if there's somebody that either ordered extras or if they're close enough to the Four Horsemen that they can get them at shows, because obviously the retail price is a little expensive on them. But if you can get them at show prices, and we work out a deal. Like,
but 4H is gonna be at Retro too, right? Jess, I know you go to Retro, right?
Yeah, I'll be at Retro.
So I believe that's the one that Len will actually be doing the Four Horsemen table for them. So he's doing a street team. So he'll have all the stuff there, but he'll actually, like Len from Wolf King, will actually be managing the Four Horsemen table. But yeah, he will have all that stuff there, and so it'll be fun.
I'm definitely going to that one.
I'll double check, but I think I'm helping Len at the table. I'm not sure, or at least the Wolf King side of it. I'm not 100% sure.
I would imagine he probably does need that help. Yes. And then
So,
I know Four Horsemen
yeah.
will definitely be at PowerCon. That's coming up.
But
what is that like?
I'd offer to get
3 weeks?
Sentries free there, but Kevin Dufresne and Brian C have already hit me up for as many Sentries as I can get.
Nice.
Nice. That's what is that? Middle of August?
Yeah, it's like
PowerCon?
3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
They have the PowerCon exclusives too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The was it the Demistros,
The green
yeah, with
Belfagor
the
looking one.
Yeah.
Yep, with the translucent head, with
And
the
then
new
the
soft
PowerCon
goods and
debut
everything.
figures.
And then the Scourge and Operative 80, 83, 84,
Yep.
I can't remember.
83.
So the Manny Faces and Whiplash homages.
Nice.
Cool.
So yeah, that'll be exciting.
That's awesome.
And PowerCon, I went last year when it was in Columbus. It was my first time, and just it was so much like the people I was hanging out with, so much like Legion's Con, because I was hanging out with, Ish and Van and Brian and Greg and Mike and Brad from the lounge, or the Legion's Lair rather, and it was just really cool getting to hang out with everybody. So I'm really looking forward to that aspect of it again.
Well, then I think they've got isn't Chris Con this next weekend?
Yep. There'll be Chris Con in Massachusetts next weekend. I don't know if it's the whole Horseman or if it's just Jeremy representing the Horseman.
I don't know what they're going to have, but who knows? Maybe they'll have Cosmic there.
I feel like that con's blowing up too, man. I think that con's making a big name for them.
It sounds like it's getting bigger each year. That's for sure.
Chris actually got one of my snake custom. So
nice.
Cool. Yeah. So.
Well, we're right at an hour. I know you said you got a long shift tomorrow, so you got anything else that you want to promote or talk about before we let you go?
Just if you guys need anything, sculpts, anything, hit up Kingpin, Lenny Kingpin on Instagram. Look at the stuff that we'll be having at Legion's Con. Get your reservations now. That way we can print them up and get them for you guys. That's about it, really. Like, that's it, man. Like, thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely, man. It's been great.
Yeah, thank you for taking some time and being here with us tonight. It was really cool getting to talk to you, and I'll definitely be less shy to talk to you at Legion's Con.
Yeah, that's cool, man. I think everybody was like that at Legion's Con because like we don't really know each other like that, But now,
Absolutely. So. Well, we know you've got a huge, busy schedule, so we appreciate you making time for us tonight. And,
of course,
and it was really great looking at some of your stuff there and kind of seeing, what some of your inspiration is and that kind of thing. So that's been really cool. So yeah, we look forward to seeing you at Legion's Con and checking out your stuff.
Definitely.
Of course, man. Once again, thank you for having me, man. I really, really appreciate it. So
it was great having you.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Have a good one.
Have a good night.
All right, Jesse. So what else we got to talk about?
I'm not sure. Folks, don't worry. We're not done with the show yet, unless we are. I don't know. I don't think so. We didn't do an OffWorld this week, so I feel like we've got some stuff we can geek out a little bit over.
Yeah. There's a lot of San Diego Comic-Con stuff.
Yeah.
I know I saw the Flash movie. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's quite a bit of stuff that we could go over. So pick your poison.
All right. Let's see. Well, Destination Stone. Dwayne just commented tons of SDC stuff. So why don't we jump into some SDC stuff for a little bit?
Okay.
Do you have...
Yeah, I mean the big standout for me, obviously, I've been collecting a lot of the Mayfec stuff recently. So seeing the Mayfec stuff was really cool. I know they've got a Daredevil coming. They just showed off their new releases for this month, which is Captain America and Phoenix, and those are actually available for sale right now. So I saw those just before this on Big Bad Toy Store.
Okay.
And then they had the ones that really were exciting for me. We're seeing the rest of the Reign of Superman line. So we've already got Steel and we got Cyborg Superman, and then they showed off a Superboy and an Eradicator.
Okay.
So I was really excited about that. The Superboy has like a faux leather jacket on, like soft goods, which is really cool. Not sure, some of the concerns with that stuff, I guess when you do the fake leather soft goods on figures, sometimes it doesn't hold up over time. So I know some people are kind of worried about that. So we'll see. And then the Eradicator just looks fucking awesome. Like he's amazing. So I was really happy with the Mayfec stuff. I know they also had, let's see, there was something else that they showed. Oh, some Spider-Man stuff. So they had a Tobey Maguire and a Tom Holland Spider-Man, and then they did like an Iron Spider-Man. And I guess they're doing an Andrew Garfield one, or at least we think they are, but they haven't shown that yet. So yeah, a lot of different stuff from Mayfex was really cool.
Okay.
To see. What about for you? Was there anything that stuck out that you were super excited for?
No, I mean, there's tons of cool stuff. A lot of it's stuff I'm not getting just because I'm so focused on mythics and cosmics and customizing stuff. Anytime I see something new for Rogue, it gets my attention. So I saw they are doing the new kind of retro style Marvel Legends for the new 97 X-Men 97, reboot continuation that's coming to Disney Plus. So I think those figures look great. I'll only grab Rogue just because I have other versions of those characters already.
I was kind of surprised with that because didn't we see like pictures like a month ago that did not look great, and then now
those were like the 5 point of articulation, like the $8 to $10.
Oh, okay. So these aren't the same figures. This is a different.
It's the
line.
same like. What do you call it? It's the same style. It's the same, based on that show. It's the same like art on the packaging, but it's like, because how they always put out like the $10 like cheap version with like no articulation. So that's I think starting to hit some targets now.
Okay.
I don't know if they're Target exclusives, but I know they've been hitting targets. So that new Rogue,
I didn't realize it was two separate ones. I thought it was like updated pictures of the ones that we already saw. And I remember the ones that we saw first. I was like, man, those look pretty not good. And then these I looked at and I guess because I had in my mindset that they're not great. And then I saw them and I'm like, well, they don't look as bad as I remember them looking. And then and so but I think I was being harder on the pictures that I saw this weekend because I thought that they were still the same figures from before, but I'll have to go back and look at them again.
Yeah. And some of the first pictures I saw from this weekend were not great quality photos. I know just from some of the videos and things I've seen, it's hard to get good because there's like lights are constantly shifting. So like cameras don't adjust and then the colors shift and everything.
Yeah.
And it just the sheer amount of people in there. Like the only way I'll ever go to San Diego Comic-Con is if I get to like be behind a booth working something, not that it's not cool and there's tons of amazing stuff there. It's just too much for me.
Gotcha.
So Rogue gets my attention. Anything with Ahsoka gets my attention. And, they did announce some of the Black Series stuff based off of her show. I won't be the only one I'll get is maybe her just because I have my whole Rebels crew from the animated series. But I do like the, I'm a little confused because the new Ahsoka from the line, I can't tell if, there we go.
So these are the newer ones, right?
Yeah, this is like the full Marvel Legend, full articulated ones.
Gotcha.
Which a lot of them are essentially the same bucks as current Marvel Legends, but with like new head sculpts, new paint apps. I think this Rogue face looks so much better than the 80s Outback one they just put out. And I like the green. I like the green jacket. it's enough of a difference from like the 4 other versions of this character I already have.
Yeah. Plus, they put her right next to Gambit, so that's cool.
I mean,
So.
Gambit just looks like he always does, but I think the Storm's great. I really like that Mohawk look in that uniform, and the Magneto, the way they have the dark, like kind of the shadows painted around his eyes, I think is pretty cool. And they're doing, I think, Cyclops and Bishop as well.
Do you know if they've got another version where the helmet's off? Like I see it with the Wolverine, it looks like they've got an alternate head, and like
I know the version I have came with an alternate head where it's off. I don't remember if I saw it for this one. I can't imagine that they wouldn't.
Gotcha.
Was that down there? Was that more of them?
I didn't. Oh yeah. This is no,
that's the 5. That's like the $10 rogue.
So this is the cheaper one that we were talking about.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's
not great looking, like as far as, but it's a new rogue figure. So
are you still buying that one too?
Yeah. Like that one I'll probably just get and leave it in the box, and just like hang it on my rogue shelf.
So that's like the cheap version of Cyclops.
Yep. And they come with like little effects or whatever.
Gotcha.
It looks like they've got like knee they're real minimal. There's like an X-Jet, Blackbird,
Yeah, I don't even know that it's knee. It looks like
that's
this.
That's a 12-inch one.
This one, yeah, maybe it's got knee. It definitely has elbow.
His did, because there's another picture further down where he's kind of got like a squanch going on. I don't know what squanch is. Maybe it was.
I don't know either,
up.
But
there it is.
Yeah, she's
under the robe.
Hair. Yeah, and she's got a little bend to her knee too. You can see the.
Yeah, so I guess it's a little more than 5 points of articulation, but they're like $8 to $10 or something like that. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, so they're usually that line's usually around 5 inches, like between 4.5 to 5 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
So those are cool. The Ahsoka the Black Series one for her show, I can't tell if it's just a repaint of the one from Mandalorian season 2 or if there's like something new to it. I'll get at least one of them because they're going back to the window packaging on those, so I can put it with my rest of my inbox Ahsokas that I have. Gotcha. But I wanted to pull this up because Joe mentioned it, and I don't think I can pull off backing this. It's gorgeous, and this is the one Star Wars ship I want above all else. Is they're doing the HasLab for the vintage collection, so the 3 3/4 scale Ghost, and it is their biggest ship yet. It's bigger than the Falcon. Yeah, 28 inches wide, 34.5 inches long, and 13 inches tall.
I know that they've had some successful HasLabs back to back, especially with the G.I. Joe stuff and vehicles, and it seems like they're kind of in a mode of giving the people more vehicles. I'm just wondering how, like it seems like they're going back to the well on this stuff pretty often, to where I don't know that people's wallets are going to be able to keep up with this.
Well, they just launched this 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw.
They're
at 7,153 backers, and they have to get 8,000 backers. So
gotcha.
I have, unless they just do something to totally tank this.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Rancor did, like with them being this close in just a couple of days, I don't see this not going through. And the fact that it comes with a vintage collection Hera, the Phantom, so the little shuttle that docks out of the back. I think it's coming. Yeah. So
this is for 3 3/4 scale.
Yeah, it's 3 3/4 scale. So it comes with Hera, I think, straight out of the gate, and then as their unlocks go, you get at 11,000 you get Ezra, at 14 you get Kanan, and at 17 you get Zeb, which I believe is his first time in 3 3/4. I could be like fully articulated. I know they had like a less articulated line of stuff with the Rebels when the show was out, but
Gotcha.
So I think the exclusive version of these, like I think it's just the exclusive card. I can't see them not releasing these figures in like other like regular style packaging.
So who
after the
from,
fact, but
because I'm midway through Rebels at this
Mhm.
point, who is confirmed that we know is going to be in the Ahsoka series so far? Like from the trailer, what have we seen?
From the trailer, we have seen Hera, Chopper, Sabine, and we've seen the hologram of Ezra.
Okay.
Zeb was in Mandalorian season 3. And as of now,
where was I'm because I wasn't watching Rebels at the time.
so
remind
we're
me.
not spoiling anything for now. Oop, I didn't mean to close that. We have not seen anything for Kanan as of now.
Okay, so where was Zeb? Because I missed that because I wasn't watching Rebels at the time.
Well, in Mandalorian season 3, when he goes to kind of like that beach, kind of Vietnam beach helicopter pilot hangout bar.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Zeb is leaning at the bar talking to. I mean, I think he's like a CG.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Character, but yeah, it's really brief. I mean, not like blink and you'll miss it, but like, and I think he can't remember if he talks or I think he does talk because I think they had the same voice actor. But yeah, he's just in that bar when he goes to get the, I can't remember the guy's name, the X-wing pilot that he's asking for help.
Gotcha. But everything that happens in Rebels is before A New Hope, correct?
Yes. I feel like I'm going to say this, it might spoil some things for you.
Okay.
But if you've already seen, have you seen the Ahsoka trailers?
Yes.
Okay. There are
but
several shots.
I didn't know what was going on because I saw it before I watched even Clone Wars. So
there's the main events of Rebels happens before A New Hope. Yes.
Yeah.
Because it starts off because Ezra is born on the same day as Luke and Leia, or within the same time period as them, because he was born on, like, I think you saw that episode. He's born on Empire Day.
Okay.
I think that's the first episode, right?
I can't remember.
So he's like 16 at the beginning of the show. So that only leaves about 3 to 4 years for the events of Rebels to happen before A New Hope. So now that you're watching, you're going to have to go back and rewatch Rogue One again, because Chopper's in there and they call out for Hera on the Yavin base.
Okay.
Over the loudspeaker.
Which I just watched that again like last week, or 2 weeks ago. But I must have missed that. Okay.
Have you gotten to any New Hope characters in Rebels yet?
I've seen Leia.
Okay.
But that's really it.
She was helping steal some ships?
Yes.
Okay.
And she was like acting like she was with the Empire, and then she was like yelling at them for losing her ship, even though she was really giving them to the
Yeah. So she those ships that she stole, that's what runs into the Star Destroyer that makes it crash into the shield in Rogue One.
Gotcha.
It's the Hammerhead Corvette, which is what she was helping them secure or whatever in that. So there's definitely stuff that will have some minor crossover, but there's kind of like an epilogue in Rebels that kind of is like, but at the time the show came out, none of us knew when those were happening. And Dave Filoni said, like, there's some stuff that you clearly know when it's happening. There's other things that maybe took place, significantly after. So that said, there are some shots in the Ahsoka trailer that are shot for shot recreation of scenes or clips from the epilogue of Rebels.
Okay.
Live action to animation. So when you get there, you'll like when you finish Rebels,
right?
watch the Ahsoka trailer right away. The most
Because
recent.
Mandalorian is post Jedi, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so when we see Ahsoka in Mandalorian, that's post Jedi, and everything that we're seeing in Rebels is pretty much pre New Hope. So is Ahsoka taking place in the Mandalorian time frame that's post Jedi with some flashbacks to the other stuff? Or
I believe so, but I also think some of the stuff from the end of Rebels is happening in this timeline. Like I think it flashed forward and you were seeing like glimpses of the future.
Okay.
Because like Dave Filoni's been behind both series. So I think between Rebels and he's been right there with Jon Favreau on Mandalorian and Boba Fett and all those shows. So I think he's not all those two shows and obviously Ahsoka.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
gotcha. Okay. Back to some San Diego Comic-Con stuff. I know another big one from this weekend was the Cat's Lair, which we've seen kind of teased a few shots, but this was, I think, our first time seeing like the whole thing. And it's pretty damn massive. It folds out from the back with kind of like a mountain on either side. And then you can see the claw that opens up is not big enough to house the Thunder Tank, but it's still pretty big. And you can see the Lion-O on there, like just for scale. Like this thing's pretty tall. I think it's like 36 inches tall. Yeah, 36 inches tall, 29 inches wide. And then there's like several other photos here. Move that just a bit. So,
that thing's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty massive. And I mean, I'm not all in on Thundercats, but if you were somebody that was all in on Thundercats like this, I think this is kind of a must. $650, but like this thing is massive. It's cool. I mean, you talk about a centerpiece for your display. Yeah, this thing's just pretty damn awesome.
Yeah. I mean, just the fact that you can put so many figures around it.
Yeah.
And on it and, front and back, because it's got the whole backside where it's like inside the fortress and everything is just, those chairs always bothered me. Like as a kid, it's just like, what is with the weird spoon chairs? Like,
I don't know, man.
I don't know. Like there's a part of me, like, this is mean. There's a part of me that just wants to laugh at all the people that are like, "Oh, I gotta have this," because it's like it's a Barbie dream house for Thundercats, but it's really cool. And if I had the space and the money, I would totally be into this because it is an awesome looking set.
This the whole like command center spot, like this is really cool. I love that. So, so that's $650. But like I said, if you're a Thundercats fan, I don't know how you pass on that. So
like like I said, it's I know I made my joke, but like I think it's awesome. I never thought I would see something that big for Thundercats. I'm really happy that property is getting so much love and attention from fans, that something like this is even has the chance of being a possibility. I mean, it still has to get funded and everything, but
I think my understanding is that it's there. I don't know that they're going to hit the what is it like? There's a goal for like the first 30 days or something, or
something like that.
It sounds like it's probably not going to hit that, but yeah, pre-orders close September 17th. If the goal is met by July 30th, which you get the key to Thundera, that's not going to happen. So, and then if there's 5,000 backers, there's the astral projection Lion-O figure, which I think there was a picture of that somewhere.
Yep, it should be towards the bottom,
right here. So, which I mean, it's not my thing, but hey, if you get enough backers, I guess
I'm not saying I would buy this if it just was on its own, but as an add-on, I think it's pretty cool. Like, I think translucent figures are pretty cool. I think figures are to the point with the way they're made, it's a little unfortunate because you can see all the joints plugging in and everything, but it's pretty cool.
I like translucent parts. I don't know that I'm as big on translucent figures. Like I love like the glove here, the claw being translucent is cool. And if it was just like his hair was translucent or something like that would be good. But like you said, when you can see all the joints and the inner workings and stuff, it kind of takes away from the illusion of it being translucent.
And so I know part of it is they want to sell it. It's the hype. Like it's on a white background. It's probably got tons of lights on. Like I wonder what it actually looks like in person. But like there's a part of me that thinks it's really cool. So the lab, the Sword of Omens, and the claw.
This is the early bird.
Which I mean, and it's like a life-size key. It's not like I don't like. I like Thundercats. I don't. And you know what? Maybe there's someone that this is their biggest thing, and if they could have that key and wear it as a necklace or put it on their backpack, that would just make their dreams come true. I hope it happens for them.
Well, it's like I said, I'm not the biggest Thundercats guy, but I am connected to that community because I was, a huge Motu guy. And I know when they first announced Thundercats, like the first thing people started saying was, are you going to do a Thunder Tank? And then as soon as they announced the Thunder Tank, they're like, can you do Cat's Lair? So, I mean, definitely people have been asking about this. I would be surprised if this doesn't fund by the September something. What is it? September 17th. I would be surprised if this doesn't fund. But I think it's just going to be a slow roll getting there. So
like, I'm waiting to get a Snarf, and then I missed my chance to get the mutants, but I've got the 2 Mumras and I've got the main heroes. I'm not getting the Thunder Kittens, but if a Snarf and I'll be done with Thundercats.
Yeah.
Now I got to bring something up, and I'm not trying to like trigger you or set you off.
Oh, I think I know where we're going. I was getting ready to pull up pictures.
So another thing from Super 7 was they showed off their first 2 Vac Metal Silverhawks.
They did.
And through chat messages and stuff, you've been
vocal,
upset,
bitching, whining,
disappointed, frustrated. Choose your objective. Before I totally will let you go off because I want to hear your full genuine issues, but I'm going to say my piece first because it'll be really short.
Okay.
I think they look great. I'm glad I did not get any of them yet. I was only going to get Steel Heart. So seeing that they're doing this with her, I will hold off and wait. Just because I just wanted to have one to go on my shelf to kind of commemorate this line. And I like I said, I think they look really cool. I watched the interview with Pixel Dan and Brian Flint yesterday or this morning. And I mean, yes, he's a businessman. He, is kind of towing the company line and saying the piece, the stuff that he has to for the company and stuff. But I think all things considered, from at least what this is the only interview I've watched about it. I think you showed a clip from a couple of years ago, but or someone did, but I think it's pretty sweet, and I'm kind of excited.
So I'll just talk about the reveals first, and then I'll get into the drama portion of it. So I think that this is exactly what I wanted right from the get-go, and actually since I was a kid, like this is what I wanted. The original. So I was a huge Silverhawks fan as a kid. I would say it was, even though I collected more of the Masters toy line, Silverhawks was a property that meant a lot to me. I wanted to be an astronaut when I was a kid, loved space, loved the aspect of, they had like the trivia at the end of the show, and I just loved it. When the toys came out as a kid, because of the lack of articulation, that the arms basically just went up and down and that was it. It made it very hard to, as a kid, play with those figures in any sort of usable way. So the fact that we're getting articulated, chromed out vac metal figures is really cool. They look awesome. So just throwing that out there first, like they're awesome. And I would say there's a really good chance I'm going to get those, because it's just the Silverhawks that I've always wanted. Now, let me bring this down and just kind of talk to the people. So people, here's my problem. Here's my issue with Brian Flynn and the whole Silverhawks thing. When Silverhawks was announced, actually, let's go back even further. Let's go back to Thundercats. As soon as they started doing Thundercats, I know me and many others said, oh shit, if you're doing Thundercats, like, is there a chance that you'll do Silverhawks? And at the time they kind of teased like, hey, nothing's off the table. We're looking into these things. There's a lot of properties we would like to do. We'll let you know, kind of thing. And time went on, and then we started hearing rumors. Maybe they were, somehow getting the licensing for Silverhawks. And when they made the announcement, I'm like over the moon excited about Silverhawks. Then they start showing the prototypes, and I was disappointed because, like, not only were they not vac metal, okay, which I'll tell you right off the bat, I had no attachment to vac metal per se, but they weren't metallic. Like we've seen a lot of figures that are metallic figures that have a metallic paint to it that look metallic without being vac metal. I didn't really care that it was vac metal. I wanted it to be metallic. So when they said they couldn't do vac metal, I'm like, that's not the end of the world for me as long as they're making them metallic. But they didn't. They said, hey, we're doing this pearlized, whatever bullshit paint. And, pictures aren't going to do it justice. And when you get them in hand, you'll see that when you like hold it under the light, you turn it certain ways, it has this reflection and it's going to, trust me, you're going to like it when you get them. Right. So not happy about it. Then he goes on to say that they really can't do the vac metal because of the, it's highly articulated figures and vac metal just doesn't work with that. Explained all the reasons why it doesn't work with these figures, the different types of plastic and that it basically won't work with PVC. It'll only work with ABS and they just basically can't do it. So, basically this is what we're getting, it's like, okay, it is what it is. If we want them, this is what we're getting. Then, they show the figures at New York Comic-Con and they looked kind of shitty. Like the faces look really terrible. People were upset. A lot of people canceled their pre-orders. I canceled my pre-order because we wanted to see what these things look like in person before buying them because they looked really shitty in the initial prototypes that we saw. Then wave 1 was delayed for a long time and all of a sudden wave 2 started coming out and I started seeing pictures of wave 2. They looked pretty decent. They still weren't, what we wanted, but if this is the only version of Silverhawks that we get, it looks pretty decent. So a lot of us started picking these up and this is within the last year. So this is, within the last 12 months, most of us start picking up these things. I would say even probably within the last 6 months. So we pick up wave 2, then wave 1 comes out. It looks a lot better than what they did in New York Comic-Con. So a lot of us go out and pick up those. Meanwhile, during this whole time, we don't hear anything about them trying or doing anything with vac metal or doing any other metallic versions or whatever. Did I think that they were going to do variants at some point? Yeah, because I understand that's what toy lines do. Like they were going to try to get as much use out of that buck as possible. But the indication that we got from the interviews that Brian had was that we are never going to get vac metal. Like that just can't work with these figures. We may get something else down the road. And I figured we would probably get some other metallic version down the road that looked good that I may have to buy as well. The fact that he then this week shows off the exact same figures. Like he talked about how you can't do it with articulated figures and all this kind of stuff. Then shows us the exact same figures that we've already purchased, but in vac metal. And, like this is not something like to go from start to finish on a prototype is not an immediate process. So it's not like they had this idea last month and just now came out with these figures and now they're letting us know. And then he even confirmed that by when he was talking to Pixel Dan this week, he said that they've been working on this vac metal process for the last 18 months. So nowhere during that 18-month period did you go back on what you said initially that you can't do it and say, hey, we're trying this. We've heard the feedback. We appreciate what you guys are saying. We're going to try to see if we can give you vac metal. We can't promise, but here's what, we're working on. And normally I would say, obviously companies don't typically come out and let you know what they're working on or what they're trying to do. But the fact that he told us we couldn't get that, and then you're in the background working on that, I think they owed it to us to come back and say, hey, I know I told you this, but we heard the feedback. We're trying to work on it. We'll let you know. So that's what I'm pissed off about, is that I feel like he either knew from the very beginning that it was possible, but it was going to take a while, but told us something different so that we would buy these other figures. Or even if, let's take him at his word that he just heard the feedback and he went back to the drawing board and said, hey, let's figure out a way to make this work somehow. When he knew that they were going to be able to make it work, or at least thought that they'd be able to make it work, he never came back to the fans and said, hey, we're going to try this. For those people that really want the metallic versions, we're going to try this. Here's going to be the downsides of this, that, you might have some flaking, you might have some this and that, you might have some problems. It's going to be a higher price point. He could have told all of this to us a year ago, and many of us wouldn't have purchased these other Silverhawks. So, like I've got, this is still Will here. This is, the pearlized whatever BS that they're talking about. Let me just embiggen myself here. That they say, you turn the light and you're going to see certain things. It doesn't do that. It doesn't do any sort of thing when you turn it in the light. Whether you're looking at it on camera here or with me in the picture, I'm telling you, like, there's nothing, it's a great sculpt. Four Horsemen sculpted this. It looks great. But there's nothing that looks metallic or sheen or pearlescent or any bullshit about this. And this is one of the figures that he convinced us to buy by telling us that we weren't getting vac metal. And so I would just say,
no,
that's what I say about Brian Flynn and his Silverhawks. And he can kiss my ass. So there you go. That's my take on Brian Flynn and his lies, or at least manipulation and deception. So there you go. That's my take.
Oh boy, you didn't even let me get to counter or play devil's advocate.
Go ahead and retort.
Before you. Again, I did not follow. I mean, I followed what you said, but I was not following that as it was happening, because I saw they were coming out. I knew it took like 85 years for Chitara to come out, so I was like, when they're available, I'll look for them. Like, I was gonna just wait. Did you watch the whole video with Pixel Dan?
I did.
Okay.
I did, and I will tell you that it made me less upset in some aspects, because I heard him say, how they're trying to make better clearance for the joints so that this will work and all this kind of stuff. And they're trying to give us the figures that we wanted, which that all sounds great. It sounds like great lip service. I also saw in there how he, did his raising the pinky and drinking tea and acting like, any of us that want a metallic are elitists that can't buy other figures and kind of throwing that stuff out there. and the fact that he said that he's been working on these for 18 months and never let us know. So there were some good things in that video that made me, less upset. And then there were some things in there that pissed me off even more.
Okay. I'll say that I'd have to rewatch it, but I'm pretty sure the whole Pinky thing was a Pixel Dan thing more than a Brian Flynn thing.
He played along with it. He was very much.
He played along with it,
yeah.
But I mean,
here's the thing.
And again,
Pixel Dan is not trying to sell us figures. Brian Flynn is. So
right.
And to act like that your fans are uppity, or because we are upset that we bought these figures when we really wanted the metallic version and you told us something completely different, to just negate the fact that you either lied to us or were at least deceptive. I think that's a terrible attitude and it's bullshit. Now, I don't know what else to say.
Okay. Let me do my retort here. To the Pinky thing specifically, I'd have to rewatch it. It's hitting close to home for you, and I'm not making fun of you for that. I'm not trying to tell you how to feel. Like, that's completely legitimate. When I watched that segment and they got to that part, it felt to me like Pixel Dan was suggesting, like, oh yes, like the more refined people want that. Like, it felt to me like he was saying, like, I'm one of those people. Like, I want to hold my pinky up while I'm drinking it, and and he just played along with it because clearly they have a relationship and a rapport with each other. So I did not take that.
That came up though, just so you know, that specifically came up when Pixel Dan is addressing the fact that there's going to be people upset that they bought these other ones that they now don't want because they want the back metal ones. And, Brian's answer was basically, oh, well, these are great figures too. Yeah. Okay. Maybe you think they are, but they're not the ones that we wanted. And the ones that we bought out of FOMO, because you made it out like they're the only ones we're getting. So that's why we bought them. And you just wanted to double dip is the impression that myself and a lot of other fans are getting, is that you wanted to double dip and get our money twice.
Okay. And to the other parts, I would say, I'm not a businessman. I don't know how to run a toy business. It felt to me watching that video like this was the first time they had a solid enough of a product to present to people to say this was happening. Because I feel like if he would have said, from interviews I've seen with the Horsemen and other people, if they would have come out and said like, hey, we're trying to build a dragon for you guys. Oh, we're still working on the dragon, kind of like the whole thing with the game figures. And it just kept like, there was no response. And if they never shipped, I think people would have been more upset than if they just never.
Here's the thing though. Four Horsemen have never told us we're not going to do a dragon. They've never told us that, right? They have told us the whole way, we're going to get you one. We don't know when it'll be. We don't know what it'll look like. We don't know what the price range will be. But at some point, you're going to get a dragon. So that's all I was asking here was transparency. And this guy does many interviews. It's not like some other toy companies that you don't hear from very often. This guy does a lot of interviews, and he's got his own YouTube channel where they give updates on Super 7 stuff all the time. Like every month, they've got videos coming out where they're updating you on stuff. And at no point did they ever let us know, hey, we've heard you. We've heard the feedback. We're going to try something. We don't know if it'll work, but we're going to try. They've never told us that. And the fact that they let us then go out and buy these other figures that we didn't want based on the information we initially got and never updated us, that's wrong. And that's what pisses me off.
Okay. Okay.
So there you go. That's my take. Any comments
to me?
Chat? Go ahead.
No, I mean, eventually I'll get through all my points.
Go ahead. Have at it, man.
Well, I feel like they're doing the exact same thing they did with Thundercats. Granted, they didn't say, I mean, no one was demanding we want a toy line paint variant, but they did the animated version first, then they did the toy paint version, which some people like the toy paint versions. Cool, good for them. And again, I totally understand what you're saying. But like even watching that thing with Pixel Dan, he was saying like, well, that's not even the right arm. We don't have the right pieces in this. Like, it's not going to like, it seems like this was the first time they were able to present something to people, to show like, hey, this is proof of concept. We're making it happen. Again, I'm not saying it's the best. I've never watched interviews with him before until the one with Pixel Dan today. So I don't have any of that backing. It just seems like, for companies like this, like they don't want to show something until they have to tell you something, until there's something to show, because then it's either just screaming into the wind and people are like, oh well, this never happened. And I wasn't trying to make a one-to-one comparison to the Horseman. I was just saying that if they did say you're getting a dragon, we're working on it, and then it never happens, I think that's worse than saying you'll get one eventually. And, maybe he should have said, like, I do agree. Maybe he should have said, like, we're trying something. We don't know if it's going to work. But then I could totally see that community blowing up. They're like, oh, they're making it happen. And then everybody doesn't buy the toys. And if no one buys those toys, how bad was no one buying the first lines of Silverhawks going to hurt the company? And then they get hurt so bad, they can't do the vac metal ones, and there's no Silverhawks. I'm just like, I don't disagree with you, but I'm also not a businessman, so I don't know how he has to think about this stuff and how they present their stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Now can I retort?
Yeah.
Okay. So I understand that he runs a business and you have to do what you've got to do to make money and sell figures and all this kind of stuff. And, like with the Thundercats, you put out these versions, the Ultimates versions. And then later on, some people maybe were saying, hey, we would like, some toy versions or whatever. And he does this. That's fine. He never once came out and said, we're not going to do toy versions, and then did these other ones. And then, whatever. Same thing when they were working on the Masters line, they were working on the regular classics as well as the Club Grayskull. They were doing both at the same time, like double dipping and doing all this kind of stuff. Like if you're going to present multiple options for people there, that's not a problem presenting multiple options. We just talked about the X-Men earlier, how they're going to have these, 97 ones, and you've got, the cheaper ones that are like $10 and then the more expensive ones that are $20. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with multiple versions of figures. I don't have a problem with variants. I don't have a problem with any of that stuff. The problem I have is that he told us this particular type of figure was not possible. He said we couldn't have this. Like, this can't work. So then we bought these other ones that he put out. And meanwhile, he was working on the thing that we asked for initially and never told us that, hey, we're trying that. So we bought these other ones because of what he told us. It's not like we, if he didn't do any interviews at all and he just, he puts out his stuff at San Diego Comic-Con or whatever convention that they show it at. He says, here's what we're going to sell. And that's it. And there was no interviews, no talking about it. It was just, this is what we have to offer. And then later on, they come up with something new to offer. Whatever. It is what it is. The fact that he told us in an interview that vac metal wasn't possible for X, Y, and Z, and then comes out 2 years later and presents us exactly what we asked for in vac metal, that's the problem. He told us something that ended up not being true. Even if it was true 2 years ago, once you found out that it was possible that it could work, even without prototypes, you could have, in many of the different options in your other interviews, in your own YouTube channel, in your newsletter that you send out, anything, you could have let your fans know, hey, this is something we're trying, we're working on, don't want to make any promises, but we've heard you, and gone from there. Because there was a lot of feedback, a lot of backlash when we couldn't get even metallic versions. So And even if they did if the prototypes they showed this weekend were not vac metal and they just came out and they were more metallic, I probably wouldn't have even had a problem. In fact, I know I wouldn't have had a problem because he never said that you won't get a more metallic version. He just said that they couldn't do vac metal. The fact that they gave us the exact same fucking figures in vac metal is the part that pisses me off, because he said that that wasn't possible. He said that they would have to, that you can't do it with highly articulated figures. These are the exact same articulated figures that he was talking about 2 years ago, and now they have vac metal. So you're saying you're putting out something completely different from what you said 2 years ago and expecting us not to be upset. And not only not upset, but it's like we're supposed to be grateful that you listen to us and you're trying to bring us something cool. That's fine. Give me a return program where I can take my other figures that aren't broken in half and I can send you those that I didn't want to buy, but I bought because you sold me to FOMO, and I can trade those in for credits towards the vac metal ones that I actually want. There you go.
Okay.
Listen, like we talk about a lot of different toy lines on here. How many versions of Darth Vader have they put out? How many versions of Luke Skywalker have they put out? How many versions of He-Man have we gotten over the past couple of years? I understand that companies are going to sell us and resell us figures and you reuse tooling and all that kind of stuff. I totally 100% get it. But when you tell us something's not possible, knowing that you're working on making it possible so that we buy your other figures, that's not cool. That's it. That's all I got to say. I got it out of my system.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Any comments? Let's see. We got just kind of see what we got. Dave says, I'll be pissed if I was a Silverhawks fan. Yeah, brought the drama. Sorry. Got to go with Curtis on this. Companies love to release figures of different colors and different variations and make more money on the same molds, which, I mean, that's part of the game. I mean, we mostly talk about Mythic Legion on here, and there's a lot of reuse of parts. I get that. Like I have no problem with reuse of parts and trying to make money. That's cool. All I'm asking is be honest to your fans. Companies' profit margins on fans' FOMO. Yeah. Joe says he doesn't take this hobby seriously enough. Let's see. Well stated, Curtis. And Super 7 has repeatedly done stuff like this. So, yeah, I don't know. I've collected Super 7 for many years now. I collected their Motu line. I've collected some of their Thundercats. I've bought their Silverhawks. I've got their Ultimate Voltron. I got some of their Turtles. You know, I've been a Super 7 fan. And I've not had a problem with anything that they've done in terms of, you know, offering figures multiple times or multiple versions in the past. This I have a problem with because I feel like we were intentionally lied to try to get us to spend money twice. And you know what? If I'm being honest, I'm such a Silverhawks fan that had he told us initially that we were going to have both versions, I probably would have bought both versions anyway. I probably would have bought both versions. But the fact that you told us that we couldn't get the one, so we better buy the other one, because, you know, the you know, even in the early interviews with Silverhawks, because like people were asking, are we going to get like the Silverhawk jet, and so are we going to get, you know, this character or that character? And, you know, he would say in the interviews, like, it really depends on how popular the line is. Like if we go and put these things out there and they don't sell, you know, it's hard for us to continue to do more figures and vehicles and stuff like that. So it's like, in order to even have a possibility of getting what we want down the road, we got to buy this crap that you're putting out now. is kind of the feeling that he puts out there. So if he would have said right from the get-go, hey, we can't give you vac metal right now, maybe we'll figure out something to do a metallic version or vac metal down the road. We're going to try to do it right now. Here's what we're giving you. We're giving you these cartoon versions, and we're going to keep working on trying to see what we can do for a vac metal or chrome version, something as we move on down the road. No problem. Sounds good. Let's do it. And like I said, I probably would have bought both sets. Just like I did with Classic. I bought Classics and I bought Club Grayskull. So I don't have a problem with them trying to make money. I don't have a problem with them putting out multiple types. It's just I feel like I was intentionally lied to here, and all the fans, not just me in particular. But so I know I've said I was done before, and now I'm really done. So okay. Anything else from San Diego Comic-Con, Jesse, that you would like to talk about tonight?
Yes. Kevin Dufresne has mentioned this a couple times, so I'm going to bring up Elkhorn here. One of the new reveals from NECA's D&D line. Is a little dwarf, and he looks great. Lots of character. I like the way they've done the boots to get that kind of that leather wrap with the flaps hanging over the shoes. I think it's a pretty cool looking dwarf. Let's see. It looks like he comes with a heart, mason jug, and crystals, which I have one of those mason jugs in my apartment. Strongheart, I don't know if there's anything different about this. I feel like they've shown this a couple times now.
I don't know if there's anybody in chat that has bought. I think the only ones that are out so far are the Warduke and maybe that other one that you were just showing. I don't know if you can go back one.
I know Warduke and
what is it called?
The one with the snake wrapped around him.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah, that
those have both been out. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know if anybody has bought those, or I'm just wondering about the articulation on these, because that dwarf, it looks really cool. I just don't know how articulated it is, because it looks like I don't see any joint for a knee, but it could be hidden, I guess, under the pants. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was hidden in the pants, kind of. I didn't see any articulated poses of it, but it looked like there might have been a joint hiding in the green pants there.
Do you still have that up that you can pull up?
I don't. I closed it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can pull it up again.
Because I think it does look cool. I just don't know, and even with like the Warduke and stuff, I just don't know how good the articulation is. I've seen some really good NECA figures, and I've seen some really bad NECA figures. So I don't know for this D&D line. I don't know how the quality has been. So yeah. I was trying to look it up and I can't even find it.
I got it here. There he is. I picked this one. Yeah, there's definitely a joint hidden.
Oh yeah, like underneath. Yeah.
Where are you? Yeah, gotcha. So there's like a knee something there. So I'm sure if you bend, I don't know how much his upper legs can move the way that waist piece is. Unless there's like a split on it or something.
Because that looks kind of, you think that's plastic or rubber, that waist piece?
Yeah. If it's anything like, I'm sure it's kind of like the turtle shells or some of the other NECA things where it probably has some give, but it will probably naturally want to go back.
Gotcha.
To that pose. So
I love the gloves. Like they look very like worn leather. So yeah,
I like really that he looks more like a like a brawler fighter and not like a fully armored.
And I'm
And
guessing that's an alternate head for him over there. The screaming
looks like
head.
he's got a shouting head.
That's cool.
And he's got a backpack. I saw a picture of it somewhere. I don't know if it was this page. Where he's got like backpack and he's got like a sword in a sheath on the side that looks like it might pop in and out. You can kind of see it there. And I don't know if that's his shield in the background. And it looks like he's got like another hammer or something back there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, looks like he comes with a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I've been thinking about picking up the Strong Heart on this. And then that dwarf looks pretty good. Do we have a price point on that? Is that around like that $30 or something?
Or like, I want to say they're like $34, $37.
Gotcha.
At least at Target. I'm going to bring up another thing. One I'm kind of excited for. Granted, the SDCC version was better. Is these Beast Action or Best Action Ninja Turtles based on the IDW comics. I just love they all have like their own body type. It's not the same.
Can you click on one of those?
Yeah. Sorry. I'm actually looking at the screen instead of what I'm presenting.
Oh, gotcha.
So Raph, he's got the broader, bulkier build. Now, granted, it's not the best, like the articulations kind of cut, and
weird,
very obvious, but the SDC versions were cool because they had a lot more like a wash over them, and like the deco was a lot better. But I want to say it was like I don't know how much it was.
Brad commented and said Grimsward, which is the snake dude, his articulation was very limited due to the joint hiding, but Warduke was awesome. So
okay,
cool.
Yeah, there's your boy.
Yeah, so what you're saying is that they're not all using the same buck. They've got different styles based on each turtle.
Yeah. So, Donnie's a little taller, a little more slender than Raph. I think his legs are a little longer, or at least, yeah. And like, you go back to Raph, and like, I mean, his legs are thicker. He's got like a broader, like.
I like how his wraps are like darker too, like, and the other ones lighter.
Yeah.
So,
or he and Leo have darker wraps on their hands and feet, and Mikey and Donnie have lighter ones.
And did they come with alternate heads, or is it just the one that we're seeing here?
Yep, alternate heads. So yeah, they've got two heads, different bandana options, looks like a slash effect, a couple of different hands, short versions of the katanas, or I'm sure there's probably a more technical weapon name for that. Donnie comes with a bunch of stuff. I think he's got like some sort of like cyber like punch fist, like a glove. He's got goggles. He's got a smile face and his different wraps and everything.
I definitely like the goggles or binoculars or like whatever. Yeah.
I like that he has like scientific for reasons, not just because he's a nerd in glasses. Like I actually saw an old drawing where like Raphael had glasses like from the 90s or something. And I thought that was funny because it's like, yeah, the guy who's like the big tough guy is the one who should need glasses because then he wouldn't want to wear them. Mikey's got his little short bandana, his different gloves, two different types of nunchucks with chain, or I'm assuming that's like string or wire or something. So, but yeah, the San Diego Comic-Con version, I saw the Pixel Dan review of it. I think they were on here, but it's sold out. There's like the 4-pack, but they've got more detail. Like the shelves have the wash on them and everything.
Yeah.
Little better details and stuff. So yeah, there's that fist.
That's really cool.
And the goggles. I can't remember what he used that for, but the IDW comic series is my favorite interpretation of the Turtles. Like I absolutely love the storyline. I love the artwork that these are based on. It's is my favorite version because it has a nice blend of a little bit of all the things I liked about all the different versions of the comics and movies and the cartoons, but then like its own, because in this series they're reincarnated. So
really?
they're actually Splinter's sons from ancient Japan that somehow when the ooze that they were experimenting with gets exposed to them, like it allows all of them to come, like they come back into these bodies and stuff. There's stuff with like ancient sorcery and like stuff that Shred doing. So like there's all these other elements that make it work. It's not just like, oh, here's some random ooze, and like the ooze is from, I think the ooze is from space, but the space connects to the magic and stuff. So it's kind of like Thor, where it's like, oh, it's just science that we haven't. It's magic is just science we haven't figured out how to explain yet. It's that kind of stuff. But it's a really cool. I really like this series. Some of it gets pretty brutal. Like Donatello. Spoiler alert! It's been several years. Rocksteady and Bebop kill Donatello. Like they beat the shit out of him to where you see his broken and cracked shell on the bottom of the panel. And the way it's so jagged and messed up that like you don't really realize what you're seeing because it's like a silhouette, and you just see Rocksteady and Bebop with like their wrenches and their bats or whatever like over their shoulder, like like good, like
wow.
But then his consciousness gets put into the metalhead. The metal robot for a while, and then eventually they figured a way to regrow his shell with other sciencey stuff, and then he gets his own body back. But
gotta love comics, man. They can do anything.
It's really cool. And like, are you ever gonna you don't read? I'm gonna tell you,
I don't read.
They eventually have this massive showdown with the Foot and the Turtles, and spoiler alert, Shredder gets defeated by Splinter, and Splinter takes his head.
Really?
Cuts his head off, and he assumes control of the Foot Clan. And the Turtles kind of go along with it, but Michelangelo is like, this is wrong. Like, everything about this is wrong. We should not be here. To the point where eventually Michelangelo like tells Splinter off and leaves. And he's like the youngest in this story. Like, he's like the little brother in this one.
Yeah.
Which I guess he's kind of always been, depending on the interpretations. But he gets the Turtles to leave, the rest of them to leave. And they go do their own thing until they're able to reconcile with Splinter and get him to kind of, because he gets caught up in the whole honor and all that stuff of what the clan should be, and trying to like correct all the things that Shredder did wrong, to where he becomes like a slightly less evil version of Shredder, but kind of that whole absolute power corrupt.
It's not like the Foot Clan are going out and helping old ladies across the street and being nice.
No, like they're doing stuff, but like because he now suddenly has it, and there's they do some really interesting stuff with it. It's not just, oh, cowabunga, let's eat pizza, or all super dark. Like, there's a lot of fun elements to it. So
gotcha.
I was disappointed when I saw these figures were coming from Best Action at first, because I have the Raph from the cartoon line, and it's such soft, flimsy plastic. Like, it's was really disappointing, but I love these designs too much to not like. I have to get all four of these. And
did you see the Mezco ones?
I did.
And
I think
what were
those
your
are
thoughts?
Gorgeous. Obviously, I can't get all four Turtles from every wave they put out. So if they do, I think the only way to get them right now is a box set of all four. The Mezco ones. So if they do individual releases down the road, I will definitely get the Raphael. I think the designs on those are really cool. It's like, these pictures were cool, but seeing like the in-person shots from the con this weekend, it just really sold me on it. Like, I like that these to me look somewhere between real life and the way I would draw them on my like scrap paper during like downtime in middle school, when I was drawing Ninja Turtles every chance I could.
See, these for me, they do like absolutely nothing. Like, I I'm happy for people that like it. I think the details on the skin and stuff are really cool. Like you can see there's a lot of texture and everything. The wraps look cool and stuff. I just the proportions on the figures, I'm not a huge fan of. It seems like the heads are really big. They seem kind of scrawny. It's just, yeah. The soft goods look weird in my opinion. So
See, and
like,
those are all things I love about it. Like I like it. I like it when they're smaller.
yeah,
I like when they've got like the big chunky feet, the thicker forearms. Yeah, I just
a lot of head options.
yeah, I love. Like I said, these to me are somewhere between like if the cartoons, or at least the way I thought, and not the way, because I did not draw them this cool as a kid. It's just what my mind was thinking I was drawing came to
Yeah.
life. It would have looked like these, like the Super 7 ones are right there, but these with all the details and the cracks and the scales and everything is just.
I mean, you're getting a lot in here, like
Oh yeah, it's
with the
worth the
soft goods
price
and the weapons and all that, and I mean, $400 for 4 turtles, you basically break it down to $100 a piece, and all the stuff that you're getting with it. I mean, the price is definitely worth it. It's just, yeah, that's not my aesthetic. So
yeah, if I wasn't collecting, Mythic Legions and customizing and doing all that other stuff, like this would probably be one I would go all in for, at least the 4 of them.
yeah,
But the other line, the ones we were just looking at, the best action, like I've heard someone was telling me that like other characters they have planned from the comic series, and I'm like, dang it. I just hope NECA doesn't get a hold of the rights to that line, because I don't mind $20
yeah.
for a couple of them as opposed to 40.
I wanted to show you a couple of these Mafex ones that I was talking about, and get your take on it.
Oh yeah.
So this is the comic version Captain America, and I've seen a lot of things on message boards from Mafex. So I wanted to see what is your initial thoughts on seeing this.
I'll say and this is not a diss, but for my money, like I would not pay this much for this figure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I would pay that much for any Captain America figure, and I love Captain America. That said, for being a comic accurate representation, like I think it looks great. I think it looks like the best possible version of the Secret Wars Captain America I had when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the coloring, I feel like the shoulders are a little awkward, and I don't know if that's just a prototype.
That's kind of
not
Mafex. They do have kind of the more big round shoulders. Yeah,
but I mean, I've seen a lot of the pictures you share that are Mafex, some of the stuff you've done yourself. Like I know these are really posable, and if you are a Captain America guy and you want something better than a Marvel Legend, this looks amazing.
So there's some people really hating on this in the Mafex community, and the biggest thing is the skin tone on the face. Like it is very white. Like there's not a lot of pigmentation in this at all. Like I saw a lot of people like even calling it like albino. Like just not, it doesn't look realistic. So that was one issue with it. And then the same thing with the suit. They kind of felt like the coloring of the suit was a little like the blues should have been a little darker. So I don't know. I mean, I look at it and it's to me, it's kind of like the Thor that we talked about earlier this year. Like it's a comic version. And for a comic version, I think it kind of fits. If you were doing a more realistic version of this, I would expect it to be more tan, the colors of the suit to be a little bit darker. But for a comic version, I think this fits. But if it's not your thing, don't buy it, kind of thing. But yeah, for me, I mean, I don't have enough interest in this to purchase this. And I will say, as far as the price tag, just so you're aware, and really anybody that's watching, like A lot of people if you like follow the Mafex boards and stuff, they will not buy Mafex in the US because there's a lot of Japanese vendors that you can buy them from that are significantly cheaper. So like this same figure for 105 here, pre-ordering on Big Bad Toy Store, you could probably, if I had to guess, pre-order it for about 80, with shipping in Japan. So just something to, be aware of as well. But yeah.
I'm gonna share this here real quick.
Let me show this other one real quick, because this is the other Mafex that they did for this month is Phoenix, and wanted to see what your thoughts are on that.
Again, being, it literally looks like someone, enhanced and pushed out Gene Phoenix from the Phoenix Saga storyline, and I think the colors look great. I think the heads are great. I like the different expressions. Like, I think, again, if I was in the line and like I was shelling out for these prices, like the only other version of Gene I would want more than this version is the X Factor, like the red and yellow suit she wears during X Factor.
Gotcha. Yeah. See, I picked up the Gene that they put out earlier this year. That's just like the normal, like the Jim Lee style X-Men Jean Grey. So, I don't need two of her in my collection, so I won't be picking this up, but I think this one looks pretty good. Especially the one with the swoopy hair here. I think that looks really nice.
I think the sculpt on that face is and like the way they did the paints on it are exceptionally nice on that head particularly.
Yeah. All right, that's it for that. You said you were going to show something.
I just wanted to bring, because it related to the Captain America. I mean, this is 100% that figure. I mean,
yeah,
pale light blue. Like, it's got like the cuffed gloves and everything. I mean, so I feel like this is specific.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for. So yeah.
Now, this is not my preferred version of Captain America, but like for that figure was going for this, and I think they 100% nailed it. I think,
they've got another one that's like I think it's it's either like a Winter Soldier version or may even be an Infinity War version. That's more kind of movie MCU version Cap. That's more realistic looking, that maybe people would be interested in. But and then Kingpin Customs comment here talking about the Mafex Daredevil. They did show that Daredevil, and it does look really cool. I don't need a Daredevil for my collection, but I know that a lot of people were they were buying the Nightwing that just came out, because he, very similar body type and very similar weapons and accessories. So I know people were buying that and making their own customs of Daredevil. But let me share this here. So let me see if no, I guess that's the only picture that I've got on that one. But yeah, it's pretty cool looking.
Yeah.
So
I think my problem with Mafex, and again, this is just completely visual, nitpicky speculation on my part, is the articulation and for me, for those characters, I would be fine with the $20 to $25 price of a Marvel Legend.
Right.
I don't think, especially for the comic line versions, that going that high in price for that level of a character is worth it for me. I'm not judging anybody else. But like, you get to something like this one, which I think is the one you were talking about. Mafex Captain America Endgame. Like, yeah, this is my preferred suit for Captain America. I'm not going $140 for it, but
Yeah.
I think the likeness, I know some of that value is going to the likeness of, for Chris Evans and, all that stuff. I think overall this looks better than the Marvel Legends one I have.
Yeah.
Especially because you get the swirly hammer. I love that effect. Does he come with a broken shield too? He should. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that, and he's got the different faces. There's definitely added value to this set that you don't get with the Marvel Legends one. So, but like that Daredevil, like I think I had the red suit Daredevil Marvel Legend, and is great. Like I think the articulation's not that lower than the Mafex one, but again, that's me and where I'm coming at it from my buying habits. I think they look great. I think I had, what's the 112? Is that Mezco or is that Mafex? 112 Collective.
Mezco.
That's Mezco.
Okay. Yeah.
I think the only Mafex I had the movie Mara before Amber Heard, that whole thing turned ugly. I really like the character of Mara, and I thought that was a cool figure. I did not think it was worth the price I paid for it. Like, but that's just me.
Yeah. There's talk that they may be doing a Rogue at some point. So yeah. And I understand what you're saying, like for the price point. There's definitely some Marvel Legends that do a good job of capturing that character. And then there's some that are pretty bad. But if you want like a really high-end version of those figures, the Mafex figures are really good. But yeah, you're going to be paying a pretty penny for it. So
when and if the Rogue one comes out, depending on what the face looks like, I will definitely be getting that.
So this is the Eradicator and Superboy that I was talking about. And so like I could see like how he's got the leather jacket and stuff. I could see them doing something similar to that for Rogue. And even probably using like these glove style that he's got here for her. And then I love that Eradicator in the background with the translucent yellow goggles, and yeah, so I'm really excited about those two. So
nice.
I when I first saw the Cyborg Superman, because they had the black suit Superman came out first, which I was like, okay, it looks pretty cool, but I wasn't necessarily going to buy it. But then when the Cyborg came out, I was like, man, if they do just that run of those 4 Reign of Superman, like I gotta have that. And so then they did Steel, and I bought the first 2, and I was really hoping that we would see these soon. And the fact that we saw both of them, I would have taken one, but the fact that we saw both of these at San Diego Comic-Con really gets me excited.
Awesome.
So yeah, but yeah, I love that Eradicator. The Superboy, a lot of people are having problems with his face, but I mean, these are prototypes, so you never know what this is going to look like. Plus, he had a lot of times in that Reign of Superman comics, he had sunglasses on. I would guess most of the Mafex come with multiple heads. I'm guessing we're going to get a sunglass look head, and but some people had a problem with that face, that it looks a little weird. In fact, some people are calling it the Mr. Bean head. So
I'm going to say this is one thing, and I'm totally this way myself when it comes to Rogue and Ahsoka. Like more Rogue than Ahsoka, because for so long it was an animated face, and it wasn't until they were well into being able to capture really good likenesses with Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
But I think that the figure's not looking exactly like her because like when I look at Ahsoka in the live action, I don't see Rosario Dawson. Like the makeup and everything is so good that like she transcends her own face. But like with Rogue, because there's been so many different comic artists that do it, the artwork, I feel like every time they do a new face, like there are parts of it I like, but I've yet to see a Rogue face that is the way I would want a Rogue figure to look. I think the Marvel Select is pretty close.
But you said you like that new one coming out from the 97 line,
the
right?
90, I was going to say, and I can't believe I'm saying this, the one from the 97 line is probably the best looking overall like head and hair combo I've seen on a Rogue figure. Because it's the exact same body, I think, as the one that was in the Juggernaut wave and the one that was in the retro card that came out a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I got the retro card version, and I just feel like her head and hair is the wrong scale for her body. Like I feel like it's a little too big. And so it just, I don't know, it feels off to me.
See, that one's probably the overall look of the figure. That's probably one of my favorite ones, like all around, because I like the bigger, poofier hair. Like the white goes back. It's not just like the front.
I think that the other thing is that because the hair in the back kind of goes straight down, it makes it to where it very much limits the articulation of the head. So sure. I would have preferred something that was more like blown off to the side or something, so that you could still like make the head look up like in a flying pose or that kind of thing. But yeah,
totally agree.
But it's still like, I do think that out of all the Rogue figures, not statues, but figures that are out there right now, I do think that the retro card one for me is the best overall look. But I would definitely jump on a Mafex really quickly for that.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I agree. The Marvel Select though one I think is just the retro card one. I feel like the face is just a little too generic. And again, this is just me being super nitpicky about Rogue face, as you know, like you were saying, the guy's calling that a Mr. Bean, Superboy. Like I remember the first Rogue that came out in the Marvel Legends line in the early 2000s. I think she was in a box set. Oh gosh, the face on that was so disappointing. Like all the 90s versions of Rogue were. I'm sorry if I am talking, and anyone who worked on these figures ever watches this, those toys were absolute garbage. I have most of them.
I don't think we have to worry about offending people on this video after I broke a figure in half. So,
well, I mean, maybe you don't, but I do. But like the one, like she had this like angry face, and I was just like, why would they make the best?
You talking about the Toy Biz line?
Yeah. Yeah, she had this like screaming face, and it looked horrible. Then they had one.
I don't remember it.
Alternate version. It's just they were just not very good. So I'm definitely more happy with the stuff we were getting now than the stuff we got when I was originally into these characters. So
I liked when they did the because I really liked that Toy Biz line. And then when they started putting out the 12-inch versions of the same figures, I thought that was kind of cool.
Okay. Because the first time I ever saw Rogue was this here.
I thought you locked up for a second. You just like stopped mid-sentence. Yeah.
I can't zoom in. So when I saw this, I was like, who is this? I was drawn to her because like on all of this, she's the only green. And green's my favorite color. So seeing that, and of course she Hulk up in the corner, but like I remember seeing this, I was like, ooh, who's the green girl? And then I looked through the book and I was like, who is this grumpy old lady? Because she had like that short, like business hairdo from the 80s and like the white streak. So the only reason she would have a white streak in my 5-6-year-old mind, whatever it was when I saw this, was she was old. You know, and it wasn't until I saw her
It's Super Grandma.
Yeah. You know, it wasn't until I saw her in X Factor 69 during the Muir Island saga that I was like, wait, that's the same character?
Do they I'm sure they probably do multiple different ways, but in the comics, do they ever explain the streak in her hair?
I don't remember. They definitely I don't remember.
I mean, I guess I could just always go with the crappy X-Men movie version where it's from Magneto. You know.
I feel like if they did do one, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they gave a reason because of the movies.
But originally in the comics, you don't remember one.
When I was reading the comics in the 90s before the cartoon came out, I don't remember them ever giving an explanation.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And you know, I know a lot of stuff after the movies came. Like she never had a name. Like she never revealed her name until after the movies came out. So like the whole fact that her name's Anna Marie, like I can't stand that. Nothing against those names. It's just like her and Wolverine. Like I like that there was so little.
You can just call her Miss LeBeau. That's fine.
No, I will not do that. I'm waiting for them to undo that, like they do all of those things.
Nice.
I don't know. I feel like it was maybe because when she kisses the boyfriend when she's a teenager. Like I don't know if that's like the trauma of that like made her hair go white. I'm not sure. If anyone's listening to this that knows the answer to that, even though she's my favorite character, I don't have that answer.
So I think that pretty much covers the San Diego Comic-Con stuff. Did you want to talk about Flash tonight, or are you, or do we want to try to hit that on an off-world and kind of close out the show at 2.5 hours?
I think this is a good place to close out the show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
sorry, I'm now obsessed with finding out why Rogue has a white streak in her hair.
Oh, that's fine. While you do that, I will pull up and show our guest for next week, which is the Toy Forge himself, Mr. Anthony House Heel.
That doesn't seem right. It's way past his bedtime.
You know, we'll see. We'll see how long he hangs out with us. But yes. Yeah, I love the weapon he's got there. That's awesome.
Yeah, he sent a picture, and I did, you know, because I always do like the headshot, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you'd show me doing the hammer," and I was like, "Okay,
all right."
I mean, I did kind of want to do the hammer. I mean, look, I don't want to put like put any mystery out about me being like some amazing artist. Like I literally trace the photographs I get of people's faces and then just color them in. Like there's no, because I try to do it quick. It's just for the show. I'm not trying to promote my artwork. Like I could take the time and do this and have its own style, but I'm trying to do it quick. So.
I tell you what, for doing one of these each week, I think you do an awesome job. Like, well, you know, whipping them out as quickly as you can, because now, you know, that's not super easy, like putting this stuff together in such a short time period.
Now ours, I spent more time with, because you know they're up there. I'm debating whether or not I'll do different ones for next year, just to keep the seasons interesting. We'll see.
Nice.
Plus, you know, I'll have to update your hairstyle for that one.
That's true.
But anyway, yes, that's that.
Beautiful. So we hope to see everybody next week when we have Anthony Halseal on. And this Friday on Offworld, we will be discussing the top 10 Marvel series as voted on by the Offworld crew. So we are fully working towards that. We're getting our voting together. Jesse, have you looked at any of your voting yet? Have you?
I did all my voting.
Oh, you did all your voting? Sweet.
Well, I did the first 2 rounds. I don't know if you've expanded more.
Nope, that's it. I just gotta wait for the other guys, and then we'll compile the results and do a slideshow. And so
there was a couple of yours and mine that lined up. I think there's 2 that lined up in exactly the same spot.
Nice.
But there's very large differences between your opinion and my opinion for sure. And the only reason I even saw yours is because like our columns are right next to each other, and I had to look at your numbers to look at the names of the shows. So
OffWorld Friday, top Marvel series, shooting the shelf next Sunday. We'll have Anthony House-Seal, and Thursday. What do you got going on Thursday?
Mythic Minute Thursday night. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. I'll figure it out. But yeah, Thursday night, 9:00.
I really like this past. I don't normally get to catch them because I'm doing stuff at that time of night. But I caught this past week's, and I didn't realize at first because I came in the middle of it. I thought you were reading something from like the official book or something from bios or something. So that was cool to hear that was your own story. So
yeah, no, that was Nate had posted something about like asking what they thought. What people thought, the Return of the Dark Four, because it was after the Necronominus wave was announced, and I kind of wrote a quick thing on his post, and then I was like, man, I got to really dive into this because, and I even then that was short. Like I was trying to make it a shareable, friendly post.
Mm-hmm.
Like I could have elaborated a lot more on those, but I know we're getting a book, so I know whatever I write is going to pale in comparison to what they actually give us. So
it was entertaining though. I liked it.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Anything else besides those 3 shows this week? Any other stuff going on that you want to promote?
For folks in the close to the central Pennsylvania area, there is the Toys for the Ages Expo next week. Let me pull that up.
And then anybody also in the Northeast, you got Chris Con next weekend?
Yeah. So for anyone that's near, it's in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. Where is it? Share screen. Toys for the Ages. I've never been to this, but it's 2-day Saturday, Sunday show. I hear about it all the time. I've never gone, but right here, Uncle Bob's Vintage Toys.
Nice.
They are the local to me. I can literally get to his shop. I just drive straight down the street I live on, and it's about 15 minutes down the road. But he's going to be there. He's going to have Cosmic Legions for sale at the show. Attorney of Dreams, anyone that was at PowerCon last year or has seen their setup before, they're going to be there. So, I mean, this is a pretty big.
That's a big list.
Store for the Retro and Rad is another shop I go to around here. That's a really cool store. American Daydream's a cool like interior. It's not a flea market, like an antique shop where they have all the different booths. And Penguin Comics is there. There's a lot of great folks here. Give me back my childhood. That's great. But yeah. Lots of stuff next weekend, Saturday and Sunday at the Carlisle Fairgrounds. So
cool. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for watching live and everybody that's watching on replay. We appreciate you. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, notification. And till next time.
What's on your shelf? Where's the thing?
The thing. You gotta find.
I wasn't ready. Curtis is like.